What's to you guys, and welcome back. Honey, yes, Miss Raina Tees is back. And just to let you girls know, we will be leaving all contact information down in the description box below if you want to contact us for bookings and or readings, bitch, for spell work. Readings mandatory before any spell work. And yeah, so I have a very special video for you guys tonight. We are going to be talking about the Goetic Spirit Bune. Yes. And even as I do this video, I have his sigil here. I made an offering, and it's just like the home, my entire spirit has just been so revitalized and energized. There's this very zesty energy that I always feel when working with this spirit. So it's been a long time coming, and I did make a promise that I was going to make a homage video for Bune, and it's time, honey. It is definitely time. So if you are just tuning into this channel, honey, we are your two motherfucking fabulous ass LGBT witches over here, really popping them rocks. Okay, we pop them rocks over here, honey, and we get the magic in the work moving. So this is going to be basically my experience working with this entity. My practice style is a bit freelance, honey. I'm not a part of any religion or sect, girl. You know, a bitch just has the gift of mediumship, girl, and clairvoyancy and clairaudience, and just working with these spirits. And I feel like, you know, doing my research, as I implore you all to do, do your research, you know, approach with skepticism, and also approach with reverence and respect, and you shall yield amazing results. So let's get into the great Duke Bune, okay? So Bune is one of the Goetic dukes, okay? He has about 30 legions of spirits under his command, and it's funny, but one legion, okay, consists of 666 spirits, or maybe 1,666 spirits, something of that number, okay? I know it's like sequential numbers, 999 or 666, one of the two. So each legion consists of that amount of spirits. So he has 30 of those, okay, under his command. As read by the Goetia, he changes, or they, I should say, because, and I'll get into his form in a minute, or their form in a minute. They change the places of the dead and make other spirits gather unto their tombs, okay? So how this translates to me, and from my experience in working with Bune, he assists in mediumship, connecting with spirits that have passed, spirits of past loved ones. It's funny, when I first began working with him, we did another video on this channel, bitch, because I know some girls are gonna be like, well, which dog is this? Because you said you had another dog. This is the same dog, girl. If you look at our white magic or healing, you know, Raina Tees healing magic, that's a video on this channel. I spoke about working with, you know, putting work on one of my dogs because they were really sick. And so the dog passed. So sometime after that, you know, later on, I end up working with this spirit. And you know how like you, in the first kind of months and maybe even year of an animal or loved one passing, you know, you go through the mourning process, but then you start to piece your life back together, and you start to like move on, and you come to accept that they're gone, and you let them go, but you cherish the memory and all that good stuff. So during this time, when I was working with Bune, my friend came and visited me a couple of times, I think like 2 or 3 times in a dream. And I was just like, dang girl, like what's going on? All of a sudden you like coming to me. So definitely he creates portals and link ways for you to communicate with the dead. Necromancy, honey. Yes. He also bestows eloquence, and makes the man wise, person wise. That's another thing too I can definitely give homage to. When working with Boone, there was just, and in our conversations, our telepathic conversations, there was just so much like wisdom, and the spirit really reminded me so much of like how fleeting and how small and how petty most of our worries are. You know, a lot of my interspiritual working has led me to detach from a lot of worldly things. You know, yes, we have our Instagram page, but girl, we're not following hoes like that. Yes, we have YouTube, but girl, we're not, checking up on hoes like that or trying to be in the hype limelight. And it's because we realize there are so many just levels and levels and dimensions and portals and rifts and gateways and just so much happening, that we can't even perceive with our very eyes, but is in actuality right now. So this spirit definitely comes to you and humbles you down, and not in an aggressive way, but just in a way, a very friendly, gentle way of reminding you that, things are bigger than you, and to not take things so personally, to rise above the flesh. Okay? So the last thing, honey, and yes, well, another thing they mentioned is that he's a very honest spirit, or they're a very honest spirit. I gotta stop saying he. Maybe he wants me to say he, but because he is, I said it again, because he is a being that wields three heads. I don't know if all three heads are concise with that one specific entity. He just told me, yes, they are. They are all me, honey. That's all me, he says. And last but not least, the more popular notion of why magicians go to Boone is for riches, okay? He bestows riches, he bestows money, he makes a way out of no way if you're like in a really tight, dire financial situation. And I want to bring something back to that too. While stress and having your back up against the wall can really lead you to really pulling some miracles out of your ass, because I've been there and I know it works. It also can stifle your spell work too, in and because if you perform a spell, or you perform any working and you don't see, let's say like rent is due by the end of the week, and you do the spell Sunday. Monday comes, you're feeling really strong. Well, you're nervous, but rent is coming up and you might not have it. So you're feeling really strong. Monday comes, Tuesday comes, Wednesday, and you're kind of like, you ain't see nothing yet, and you're kind of like, oh my God, like, am I gonna have it? Like, what? So you start going into that doubtful mentality, that doubtful mindset that might stifle the spell and its ability to deliver to you. Thursday comes, and then Friday comes, and maybe so happen just by the grace you get it. You know what I'm saying? Just by the grace you get it. But it's a roll of the die when you do any working from an extreme standpoint, a dire situation. So I'm gonna go into my story time and working with this entity. But first, I want to go back on the experience and working with them and perceiving their energy. Very, very, oh my God, like, if I could describe it as anything, it gives me goosebumps. It gives me chills. It charges and flows the biomagnetic energy system, my sphere, my chakras, the bubble, my aura, you know what I'm saying? It gets that going whenever I channel this energy, whenever I channel this being. I always feel safe and at peace, and a very like, I always have a smile on my face because it's like I can feel the energy there and it's no denying it. And going back to, again, the Dukes, I feel like I've gotten that sort of energy when working with them, that they're very much about coming and, yes, honey, like, what's tea? For those of you who aren't as clairaudiently sensitive or can pick up on the telepathic communication, I'm sure you'll still be able to pick up on that energy because these beings have lived lifetimes. I mean, they've seen us come and go in many incarnations. They probably already know who the hell we are. Like, girl, in your last life, you was doing the most. And now this life, girl, you're still doing the most. Like, what's tea? So they, I feel like, can communicate through any language and no language at all, no tongue at all. You know, they can send you impressions. They can send you visuals. They can send you clairsentient, it's not clairsentient, clairvoyant. Okay, they can send you clairvoyant visuals, impressions. They can give you empathetic energies that you can pick up on and tell how the spirit is feeling or if they're for or against some things. I've never felt any hostility or negative energy. And I want to give a huge shout out to Indigo Priestess because she has one of the best meditations that I've found thus far on YouTube for chanting and working with the N, the ENN of the spirit. It might just be one N. The N of the spirit, which is the call or the chant or the beseeching chant. So, very positive energy, very magnetic energy, very powerful energy, also very calm and subtle, not forceful, not intrusive, but just there. And I've worked with some spirits before, girl, that, you know, their energy is very intrusive. Like, it's very, like, in your face. Prime example, when I worked with Seer, and I don't know how familiar you guys are with the Goetia or the spirits, but Seer, you know, his office is travel, and he rides the wind on a horse. And I'll never forget when I summoned him. Footnote, sorry, we're going off the rail for a little bit, but I remember when I summoned him, I started smelling horse. Like, I smelled this strong musk of, like, a beast, you know, like, and I was outside on my balcony on, like, the fucking 7th floor. So I was, like, pretty up there to be smelling some horse ass, you know, just floating through the damn air. So yeah, a lot of times impressions come like that. You may pick up on a clear audience, them communicating with you telepathically. What would be the word for, is it clairsense? Clairsense, okay. Being able to pick up on smell. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm like really distracted. It's like a little bit going on in the house right now. But let's go ahead and jump into the story time, bitch. Let's get into the meat and the potatoes. So about a year or so ago, I was going through a bit of a tight situation as I was just, honey, thugging it through school, bitch. And I mean, if you're going to school and you're in school, you know, honey, them are some very unglamorous days unless you got either A, bitch parents with a silver spoon in your mouth, or B, a sugar daddy. And at the time, I didn't have A. Okay, let's just say that. So, you know, I was running into situations where it's like, okay, like, damn, bitch, I need to kind of have my shit. You know, I need to take care of this. I need to buy this. You know, I need this to maintain. I need this. I got this coming up. And of course, it was just bombarding. You know, it's like just building up. So I said, you know what? I had done money spells before. When I have done money spells before, what I noticed is it comes in like you have your quick little moment, but it's not really lasting. And I wanted something that would last and carry me and be able to carry me through this point to make it to the next step. Okay, at least by the end of the fucking semester, if that much. And I think that's what I remember. That's what I asked for. Like, girl, just get me through the semester, girl, because it's tight over here. So I remember looking online and I was torn between Boone and Clonic. And at that time, which was like a year and some change ago, I was still in this kind of phase of like I didn't want to be too dark, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to like call on spirits that possibly would, because I was interacting with a lot of people during that time. I had friends, bitch, I had roommates. I mean, people was coming staying over and shit. So I didn't want to like call any energy in that would be too much, or change the vibe or the nature of any relationships that I had going on. So I was just kind of a little cautious about that too. And I was torn between these two spirits, and I settled on Lord Boone. I was just like, you know what? Even though there is a sense of necromancy there, I should at least go through with the preparatory immersion. I began first and foremost by reading up on what everyone was talking about, and there are just like a ton of amazing reviews on this spirit because he's amazing. And I remember when I saw his picture in the Goetia, I was kind of like, okay, girl, this is much. She's gonna come through. She got the 3 heads going on. She has 3 heads. One is a dog, one is a dragon, and one is I believe it's something. I can't slip my mind right now. Let me see. Boom. Are you gonna give me? Oh, he says an eagle. Okay, so one is a dog, one is a dragon, and one is an eagle. He just said it to me right now. So clock the T now. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comment section. So also he's saying that sometimes he appears as just a snake or a dragon. And he's saying, he is really chatty tonight. Okay, and he's also saying for those of you who are looking to work with him, don't be afraid of his appearance. And that's what I was gonna get there. Okay, so when I saw his appearance in the book, I was kind of like, okay, girl, you're kind of giving me the most. Like, I don't know, like, I don't want you to really come into my space and then, with roommates or anything around and your sigil in my possession while I'm doing this working, the girls kind of like wake up or like, oh shit, like what's going on? Like I had a weird dream or this is happening to me. So I didn't want that. So I was a little hesitant on the appearance, not for my own sake, but just being considerate, you know what I'm saying? But with that being said, I started to do my research and look up reviews, amazing reviews, just amazing. Like people were just going in and just saying like how amazing he is and how just gracious he is. And he is so gracious. But the thing about it, and I've also seen this in reviews and I've also kind of picked up on this too, he does not stand for abuse. So, for you girls out there that are like, and I noticed this too, a lot of people only come to magic or they only come to these spirits when situations are dire for them, or they're trying to get their lover back, or they're trying to get their man back, or they've been lollygagging and having bad spending habits and this, that, and the third, going to the club and everything, knowing that rent or whatever bill or car note is coming up, and then turn around, bitch, they want to go run to a spirit now. You know what I'm saying? And that's not, he is generous, but it's also like when you do that to your friend or you do that to like a relative, after a while they kind of come to know you, that you only come around or you only call them when you need something, and that turns them off. Yes, that definitely turns these spirits off, girl. So I did my working through preparatory immersion and channeling with the spirit, channeling with the sigil. I also got into Indigo Priestess's meditation videos where she was doing the chanting and the ends and things like that. It was very helpful. It was very, very helpful. Hold on. Okay, yes, thank you. So with that being said, I don't want to get into too many details because I do have like some people that watch me that actually know me. So I asked for abundance to be available to me, to be able to sustain myself, feed myself, to eat right. I was so not happy with my dieting at that time because, you know, bitch, when you're low budget, girl, you kind of are doing the low budget meal plan, girl. So fast food, bad food, junk food, things like that. And it was starting to weigh on me, weigh on my energy level. So I was like, you know, bring abundance of healthy food. I want to be sustained. I want to be able to, you know, take care of any bills that I have. And yeah, be able to splurge a little bit too. I want to be able to splurge a little bit too, was kind of like the conversation that we had. And there was this part in which they said to me, they was like, okay, you know, and I could hear him right now. He's like, be honest, be honest. Because I was going to say this, but when spirits come to me, or when I work with the Goetia spirits, which I'm very familiar with, one of the things that they very much come to me and say is they're always like, you're very wise, you know, you're very wise and you're very open. You know what I'm saying? And when I first used to hear that in the beginning, I kind of was like, I'm talking about way back in the day, like when I first started like summoning Goetic spirits. I was kind of like, like, I hope they're not trying to trick me, or what does this mean? Does this mean I'm gullible? Does this mean I'm too exposed? But what it actually meant was that I had an innate gift that was able to telepathically link with them and hear them and understand them. So they were very much, Boone said the same thing to me too. It's just very much like, you and I are going to have a connection because, like, you can hear me, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are seeking too hard with their eyes, they're listening too hard with their ears, and their hearts are still closed. So, and he just said that again just now, just put that in me to say. So I approach with reverence, I approach with respect. I did make an offering, and the promise was I would make a video. I would make a video to pay homage. Now, when I did the spell work, when I did the grand ritual, oh my God, let's talk about that ritual, honey, because all the tea. So at the time, I was staying with roommates, and we had this, it wasn't a condo. We were staying at it wasn't a duplex either. It was like a complex. You call it a complex. So it was like other tenants in the same unit, in the same like building, but we were all on the first floor. So there was a pool area. There was like a screen area in the back, and then there was a pool area in the middle, and then where we lived, we had our own pool too. It was weird. But I was out there in the screen area out back, and it was a very windy summer night. It was like the cusp of summer turning to fall, I remember. So when I performed the ritual, you know, I had done all this research, and I was, you know, getting this tea like, oh, they have reptile skin, you know, I've seen the pictures, this and this and that. So I really wasn't knowing what to expect. I was expecting them to come in their true form, but they appeared to me in the form of a lamia, okay? And a lamia is a snake woman. She's a snake humanoid, kind of similar to Medusa, but with like, you know, the girl, here we go with this train, girl. You know, the train, she just want to be heard, girl. She got to let the girls know, because down here lately, the girls will go on the track, honey. We've been, girl, so much back tea. But lately, well, we got a new train system that's running through our state or our city. And basically, it's running from between two of the major cities. So if you live in one city, instead of making the hour drive to the next city, we have a train that can take you really fast. Anyway, the girls have been getting hit. Like, the girls have literally just been walking out on the track. Some people stopped on the track, you know, stopped their cars on the track, and they get hit and they get killed. So Miss Train, honey, she has to let the girls know she's coming. So now that we've had that short break, our short intermission, back to the tea. So we had this back screen patio area, and that's where I went out to do the ritual. And they in my mind, when I performed the ritual and I made the call and I did the meditation, they appeared to me as a Lamia, okay, and I was getting apparitions, I was getting psychic impressions, and I was getting clear visuals, okay? Bitch, not even 5 minutes after, I called them and I made that final call, that final chant. And the chant that is used to call them is wait, hold on, I have it. Look at me, wasting time, girl. You girls to get into it. All right, I'm gonna ask him because I don't, I had it in my little notepad, but I can't find it right away. So, boom, give it to me. Okay. It is, I'm not looking at any paper right now. Okay, it is Welm Melan Avage Boom Tasa. Welm Melan Avage Boom Tasa. Okay, I think that's what it is. I don't think, honey. Boone is telling me what it is. So, going off that trusting of the instinct, that is his end, okay, to call him. And I was doing that. I was making that chant. I was doing it over and over. And when I finally had built up so much connective power that I finally shot it out and reached out to connect with that apparition in my mind that I had seen before me, and the link was established. Oh my God, like the wind just started picking up like crazy, just picking up. And the way that the wind was rustling through the trees, it sounded like a chorus of snakes hissing, okay? Like, going in, bitch, just. And I have to admit, okay, sometimes I know we be getting on the line and we be like, we big and bad and all this fucking shit. But sometimes, like, when these spirits really fucking come through and they really fucking come through on that ass, like they come through, sometimes as a human being, just human and not really like just exposed to the supernatural every single day, every single moment of your life, you're just not magical every single moment, bitch, you can be a little shook, so I'll admit, like, at that time I was just like, okay, like, but I always try to maintain my composure and understand that I am the magician here, bitch. This is my calling, this is my ritual, and I'm here to work, so that's what I try to focus on when the fear or just kind of like the signs start picking up. I always try to remember that, bitch, I'm here and it's working, and it's confirmation. That's what it is. It's actually confirmation. So all this hissing, the wind was hissing, blah, 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 blah. And so I performed the ritual. I asked my petition. I listened. I observed. I thanked. I made the I put out the offering, and yeah, so the spell was done. Now, the following night, okay, so spell is done, did some, some grounding exercises, really just started like fixating myself on focusing on this money energy, because on top of working with them, I also did some of Abramelin squares, bitch. I don't know if you girls are about that life, honey, but them Abramelin squares is where it's at, for kind of short, not short, it's powerful, but something very sympathetic sigil magic, Abramelin squares. So work with the Abramelin squares on top of that, and the following night, or maybe 2 nights later, we had some friends come over, but they came over like very late, so the house was like dark. They kind of like popped up, girl, just out of nowhere, child, just being extra and loud back in the day, like they used to when you're staying together with people. And I was in my room. Lights was off. I was kind of on my laptop, and the TV was off, so just dim. And when you pull in, there's like two parking spaces. One that's a little bit farther from my window, and one that kind of like is right on my window. So usually no one parks in that space. Sometimes I park in that space, but sometimes I just, girl, it's like some side tea. But because of where the space is, I don't like parking there, so it's usually left empty. But my friends, they came, or our roommates' friends, mutual friends, they came and they parked in that space. And they were in the car for like a long ass fucking time, bitch. They was like in the car, and I'm like, I was looking down at my screen, I'm like, damn, these hoes still in this car. Like, what's T? Who is this? And after a while, I'm like, okay, who is this? So I look up at my wall, and the way that the light shone through, I will never forget this. The way that the light shone through my blinds, it cast on the wall, like the shadow appeared on the wall of a dragon's face. I kid you not, okay? A dragon's face. And see, I know some girls are gonna be like, well, where's the pictures? Why don't you ever show receipts? Where's the pictures? But the truth is, I feel like if I were to take a picture, and trust, bitch, like right now, we take pictures, honey. Now I'm taking pictures, and bitches, when you come to us for spell work and we do spell work for you, honey, we do the ritual on camera and send it to your ass. So ain't no tea about, oh, is you doing the work? Or no. You're gonna get that work and you're gonna feel that power, okay? Footnote tease. But coming back to, I don't like if I'm doing interpersonal working with the spirit for myself, I don't have anything to prove to anybody. So it's like, okay, when I see the omens and the signs and the apparitions come through, like, it's confirmation for me and me alone, because I was the only one that did the ritual with the spirit. So who, what else is tea? So I saw the imagery, the shadow, what do you call it? The wall shadow, or the shadow wall. No, wall shadow. It's kind of like when they do the puppeteer things. It might be a word for it, but basically the shadow that came on the wall from the car's lights showed a dragon's face. Okay, showed a full on. It wasn't like fully detailed, but you could see the eyes, you can see the scales of the slender pointed jaw, and you could see horns at the top too. And it looked like a dragon, and I was like, and I just was like, my mouth was agape. I was just like. And when I caught it, like when I was seeing it, I was like, and then of course my friends cut the damn car off. They like cut it off and the lights go in it. And I was like, wow. So that was confirmation for me again. And yes, everything came through exactly like I asked it. I was doing strictly readings at the time, and bitch, the readings started coming through. The girls started coming through. I had like people, just random people at campus, like they got the tea. I don't know who put that tea out there, or if somebody saw my YouTube, because I have another YouTube, but that's neither here nor there. But somebody got wind of my YouTube that I was doing readings or whatever, and they were like, oh, bitch, like, damn, you do readings, like I want to do readings, blah, blah, blah. Then I gave them a reading, and then they went and told somebody else, and then they wanted a reading. So I remember, like, I was just getting back to back to back. And also, I was asked to help with projects. I had one of my friends ask me just to come with them and ride with them to go, basically, they were looking to get like a new camera setup because they were kind of doing YouTube at the time too. Child, that's neither here nor there. And they wanted me to come along with them. And basically when we went, I was kind of feeling like, well, damn, I ain't got the coin right now to be setting up for my YouTube, so like, what's the tea? And it ended up being that the Best Buy that we went to, they had a sale on the merchandise that she was getting. And the guy that she was talking to, he was like, oh, like, if you buy 2 of these, you know what I'm saying, and with your Best Buy card, your Best Buy membership, you can get the other one for like, I think it was like $40 or something. And she was like, girl, like, you want a camera? And I was like, yes, bitch, I could do that. I could do that. So it was just like all sorts of little quirks coming up and popping up. Like, it was one time that I was going out with friends to eat and like drink and stuff like that, and people was just, not even me, like, oh, pay my drink, I ain't got no money. Well, I had money, but people were just spotting the bill, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, girl, like, and I was giving my card. No, girl, don't worry about it, honey. So it was just all of these opportunities that were allowing me to have abundance in my life and to maintain the abundance that I was receiving and sustain. Okay, because that's what I bitch, money to come in and for me to be able to sustain. So it manifests in different ways, you know what I'm saying? For someone, it may be, you know, a new job coming, if they don't have a job. For another person who has a job, it may be a really booming client or a string of clients, you know, having like almost 7 to 10 people come to you at one time, like, and that coin adds up, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I made it through that damn semester, bitch. I was like, what? And just the energy, yeah, that's the most thing that I can give testament to is just his amazing, calming yet zesty, invigorating energy, and just so wonderful, like, so, I don't want to say nice because it's like nice, you know, but just so gentle and so like understanding, yet still he says, you give me too much credit. He said to me, you give me too much credit. But no, like, seriously. Well, girl, this is your homage video, so get into it. But he's like, carry on. But I think for anyone looking to have a space in their life where they can accumulate positive money, because that's another thing too. Like, sometimes we do these spells, or we go to a certain type of spirit, or we go to, you know, do root workers or any little quick fix. I just need a money spell real quick, or I light a green candle, and then the money comes, and it's such a sketchy way that it comes about, or it's such a way that's like beneath you, or you gotta jump through hoops and backwards to get the coin, or you get the coin but it's halfway, or it's on like a gift card or something, which ain't nothing bad with that. No tea, no shade. Like, girl, get them gift cards, bitch, because they do add up. But sometimes I notice, like, when we're working just on our own and we're just shooting out an arrow in the dark, hoping to hit some trajectory, we may hit the mark, but it may not be what we expect, or it may not be delivered to us in the way that we expect it, or it may come in a way that's just completely, it's not really healthy for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, girl, you do a spell to get $100, but then, like, do you want the $100 to come from like your ex who you can't stand, who, like, you know, cheated on you and lied and all type of shit? I mean, to each his own, girl. Because I mean, for some of you girls, that's like a bone to you girls, and you're like, oh my god, he called me, so he loves me now, and he wants to give me $100. Oh my god. But bitch, me and my ex came, and they're like, girl, I want to give you $100. I'm kind of looking at them like, you trying to kidnap me and throw me in some like sex ring or something, bitch, trying to set me up, girl. So no, I don't trust you. So that is my homage video. Very light, very fun. I hope you enjoyed it, Lord Boone. I hope you guys listening enjoyed it as well. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. Do run the fact check. Run the facts check, honey. I did say no internet, no computer, no monitor, girl. I did say that his one head was an eagle, that I was kind of like, I didn't get it off the first top of my head. I heard him come to me and say it was an eagle. And also his in is, it was just on the tip of my tongue. Oh my God, I forgot it again. Okay, it is, okay. Wem Malan Avage Boon Tasa. Okay? That's what it is. So with that, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. We will see you in the next one.